Hello everyone, a warm welcome to all of you in the today's daily current affairs session on EduTap, and I believe that all of you are healthy and preparing well for upcoming SEBI Grade A prelims exam. And when we talk about exams, we all know that current affairs plays a very important part in these exams, and PIB is one of the most important source of these current affairs, and that is the reason that I am back with a very interesting session in which we are going to discuss the top PIB news from the month of February 2022. Okay, so today the topic of the discussion is seed scheme for DNT. So basically in this particular session we will be discussing about this scheme, and apart from that we will also be discussing that who are the beneficiaries and what exactly are the components and the financial allocation which have been decided for this particular scheme. So before starting the session, if you are new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of the sessions. To join the Telegram channel, kindly click on the link given in the description below. So let's move on to the session. Let's get started. So here you can see the main topic of the today's discussion, that is seed scheme. So Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry is going to launch a scheme for economic empowerment of DNTs. So what exactly these DNTs are all about? So basically the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is going to launch a scheme for the economic empowerment of DNTs. So basically here you can see the DNTs stands for the denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes. See, when we talk about these tribes, most of them have been living a life of destination for the generations, and they are still continuing to do so with an uncertain and gloomy future. And these tribes somehow have escaped the attention of a developmental framework, and that is the reason that for economic empowerment of these tribes, this particular scheme will be launched by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So basically when we talk about this particular scheme, this scheme has been basically launched for the most neglected, marginalized and economically and socially deprived communities. Okay, so when we talk about some other details about these denotified tribes, then here you can see that these are those people who have never had access to the private land or home ownership. Apart from that, these people use forests and grazing lands for their livelihood and residential use. And apart from that, they are basically dependent on the various types of natural resources. So that is the reason that to provide them these kind of basic facilities, to these denotified, nomadic and the semi-nomadic tribes, this scheme, the seed scheme, will be launched by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So guys, when we talk about this particular part, the National Commission for DNTs was being constituted by the government in February 2014, which was basically to discuss these DNTs. And when we talk about the important details about this scheme which will be launched by the ministry, then this scheme will be basically formulated for families which are having the income from all sources up to rupees 2.5 lakh and less per annum, and they are not availing any kind of such benefits from the similar scheme of the central government as well as the state government. So basically who will be the beneficiary? These beneficiaries will be those DNTs, families which are having the income which is less than 2.50 lakh or less per annum, and they are presently not availing any such benefit from the similar scheme of the central government as well as the state government. And guys, for this particular scheme, kindly note, and this is really a very important point from the exam point of view, that rupees 200 crore will be spent for the execution of this particular scheme for a period of 5 years, and this 5-year period will be starting from 2021-2022 to 2025-26. So I hope that this particular part is very much clear to all of you. Now this particular scheme will be having basically 4 components. And what exactly are these 4 components? So basically under this scheme, this DNTs families will be provided coaching of the good quality candidates to enable them to appear in the competitive examinations. So basically under this particular scheme and under its one of the component, the government is going to provide coaching of good quality to these DNT candidates so that they will be able to appear in the competitive examinations, and they can really make great livelihood after attaining those particular degrees from the existing good institutions, and they can just complete their study. Okay, apart from that, health is also very important part which is really a very important right of all the people. So that is why the government has also included the component of providing health insurance to these DNT communities, and apart from that they are also going to facilitate livelihood initiatives at the community level to build and strengthen the small clusters of these DNT communities institutions. And when we talk about the fourth component, under the fourth component, the government is going to provide financial assistance for the construction of houses to the members of these DNT communities. So guys, I really believe that this particular topic is very much clear to all of you. So in this we have basically discussed the ministry which is responsible for the launch of this particular scheme, and apart from that, who will be the beneficiaries, what exactly is the allocation for this particular scheme, what is the timeline period, and what exactly are the components under this particular scheme. See, I have here discussed all the important points, the key important points from this particular scheme. I have not just gone into the minute details of the scheme. So a separate session will be taken in which this particular scheme will be discussed in a comprehensive manner, and for that you can refer to the scheme sessions which is being taken by Diksha ma'am. Okay, so she will be coming up with this such kind of scheme very soon. Okay, but for now let's move on to the practice question which is based on this particular scheme. So here in this particular question, what exactly is the demand of question? Basically, you are required to identify the incorrect statement in relation with the scheme for economic empowerment of these denotified tribes. So guys, the very first statement says that it would be launched by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. That is absolutely correct. Second statement says that it would be launched for the welfare of the denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic communities. That is again correct. The third statement says that it has been formulated for families having income from all sources up to rupees 2.5 lakh or less per annum and not availing any such kind of benefits from the similar schemes. The fourth point says that it is going to have 5 components with an approximate cost of rupees 100 crores to be spent over a period of 5 years. So here you will find some discrepancy in this particular data which is mentioned in the fourth point, which states that it will have 5 components, but as per our discussion, this scheme is going to have only 4 components and not the 5 components. And apart from that, also the cost of executing this particular scheme is also mentioned here incorrectly, that is rupees 100 crore, but as per our discussion it was rupees 200 crore which have been allocated, which is going to be spent on this particular scheme for a period of 5 years. So that means the right answer for this particular question is the incorrect statement, that is option D. So option D is the right answer. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is here on your screen. So the question is, which one of the following ministries will host New Frontiers program as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav? So one of the Indian ministries is going to organize New Frontiers program as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and you are going to tell me, you are going to identify the name of the ministry which is going to host this particular program. So the options are Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, or the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So this is one of the very basic question that you must know. And apart from that, this is the very basic news article. And when we talk about the right answer, so Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is a ministry which is going to host the New Frontiers program, basically based on the renewable energy, and this program will be hosted as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So we all know that Government of India is commemorating the 75th year of India's independence, and that is the reason that this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is being celebrated. And my dear learners, here you can see that Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is going to host this New Frontiers program on the renewable energy. So I really believe that this is very much clear to all of you that what exactly is the ministry which is being responsible and which is going to host this particular program. Now let's move on to some key details of this particular program. So under this program, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is going to conduct an event on the topic that is India's leadership in the energy transition, and apart from that, it is also going to organize some webinars which will be basically based on women in RE call for action, role of International Solar Alliance in the energy transition, and the role of clean tech startups and climate entrepreneurs in providing clean and affordable energy. So this was basically all about this particular news article. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is once again a very important question, because it is basically it is really very probable to be asked in the exam. And what exactly the question is? Basically in this question you are required to identify the name of the country which is going to take over the presidency of G20 from 1st December 2022 30th November 2023. Here the options are Australia, Germany, Indonesia, India and Mexico. And my dear learners, the right answer to this particular question is option D, that is India. So India is the country which is basically going to take over the presidency of G20 from 1st of December 2020 to 30th November 2023. And why exactly we are basically discussing this particular news? The reason behind that is the cabinet, which is being headed by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has recently approved the preparations for India's G20 presidency and setting up and staffing of the G20 Secretariat. So when we talk about the G20 Secretariat, this is basically, it is going to be responsible for the implementation of overall policy decisions as well as arrangements which will be needed for steering India's forthcoming G20 presidency. And the secretariat will be functional till February 2024, and this will be guided by an apex committee which will be headed by Prime Minister only. So when we talk about the G20 presidency, so basically presently Indonesia is the country which is having this particular presidency, and on 1st of December 2022 this will be transferred from Indonesia to India till 30th November 2023 and culminating with the G20 summit in India. So basically here one more question can be asked, that in which country the G20 summit will be held in 2023, and the right answer for this question will be India. So guys, here you can see that what exactly was the major part that you are required to remember from this particular news. And now we are moving towards the googly question, and today the googly question is basically based on the SAR program, which stands for the Smart Cities and Academia Towards Action and Research. So basically in this question you are required to identify the incorrect statement in relation with the SAR program. So kindly identify the incorrect statement in relation with the SAR program and answer the question in the comment section below and tell me that which one of the following statements are incorrect in relation with this SAR program. Okay, so we have already had a detailed discussion on the SAR program earlier, and I will also add the link on the I button above so that you can just look at that particular session, you can attend that particular session in the detail, and then you can answer this particular question. Now moving on to the homework question from the previous session. And guys, recently in the previous session I have asked the question that you were required to identify the name of the scheme which were recently launched to provide welfare and rehabilitation to the transgender community and the people who are engaged in the act of begging. And the right answer for this question was SMILE. So SMILE is the scheme which will be launched by the government to provide welfare and rehabilitation to the transgender community and the people engaged in the act of begging. So guys, this is the list of all the star performers of the previous session. And who are these people? These are those people who have answered the googly question and homework question in the comment section below correctly. So here I'm really glad to announce that Varshna, Satyaki, Bishwanath, Mukesh, Jyoti, Mansi, Sonu, Tejaswini, all of them have answered the question correctly. And if you also want your name to be mentioned, your name in this prestige list, so guys, you are required to answer this particular question in the comment section below. So this is the homework question for the today's session, and here you are required to just tell me the theme of the summit which will be held recently. And the name of the summit is the Energy and Resources Institute's World Sustainable Development Summit. So guys, please tell me that what exactly with what theme this particular summit will be hosted. So that was all from the today's session. Guys, I am really believe that today's session was useful and fruitful to all of you. If you're having any queries, you can drop us a mail at hello@edutap.co.in, and you can also call us at 814-620-7241. So guys, thank you for joining us. Wish you all happy learning.